Well, the month ended with a fizzle, but not without fireworks from big tech. Hey everyone, it's Friday morning, August 1st, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we begin, today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital. For smart investment solutions and high-quality funds, head over to amf-capital.de. If you enjoy the podcast, please rate it wherever you're listening and make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right, let's get to it. So Thursday was kind of a mixed bag. Stocks closed in the red. Nasdaq dipped just under the flat line after being up more than 1% earlier. The Standard & Poor's 500 dropped around 0.4%, and the Dow lagged, down about 0.7%. Still, July ended on a pretty strong note. The Standard & Poor's 500 was up about 2.3% for the month. That's 3 months of gains in a row. The Nasdaq? Up 3.7%, and on a 4-month win streak. The Dow? Flat. Now, all this happened as investors started shifting gears after a wild week full of earnings, macro data, and tariff talk. President Trump's trade deadline is officially here. Tariffs kick in today unless deals were made. On Wednesday, he said tariffs on Mexico are being extended for another 90 days to allow more time for negotiations. On the inflation front, the Fed's favorite gauge, the PCE index, showed prices picked up again in June. Inflation is still sitting above that 2% target. And after holding rates steady this week, Fed Chair Powell reminded everyone that no decisions have been made about a rate cut in September. Odds of that happening have already dropped from 60% to below 40%. And don't forget, we've got that all-important jobs report coming out today. That's going to be a big one for the Fed and the markets. Now let's talk earnings because big tech came out swinging. Meta's stock exploded more than 11% after the company crushed estimates and gave stronger than expected guidance, even while spending big on AI. Microsoft also impressed, sending its stock up as much as 8% before cooling off a bit. Their results pushed the company's valuation past $4 trillion. And after the bell, we got Amazon and Apple. Amazon posted net sales of $167.7 billion, up 13% year over year, and net income soared 35%. But the company's forward guidance was a little light, which sent the stock down around 2.4% in after hours. Apple, on the other hand, beat expectations with $94 billion in revenue, up 10% from last year. iPhone sales were strong, services grew double digits, and net income jumped 9%. The stock rose about 2% after hours. So yeah, July ended with a bit of a dip. But earnings, especially from big tech, are still stealing the spotlight. That's it for today's Capital Markets Quickie. I'll be back tomorrow morning with a brand new episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate the podcast, and share it with your network. Thanks for tuning in.